All right guys, James Smiley here. We're talking pond fishing, and one of my favorite things to do. This is video number 3. Let's talk about gear. You know, there's so much gear out there, right? There's so many rods, reels, tackle, and how do you go pond fishing effectively and figure out what you need? And what I do, I've done this so much. I've done it since I was a kid, and I still pond fish, you know, a bunch of times a year. I always, especially in the summer, I'll go pond fishing a lot. I'll go night fishing a lot. I carry 2 rods, and I keep the same 2 rods set aside. I don't put them in my boat or anything, but I carry 2 rods in a tackle bag, and I've always got that gear set aside just for pond fishing. So when I want to go pond fishing, I talked to my wife today. I said, hey, I'm gonna go if it's cool. She said, yeah. Go in the garage, grab 2 rods, couple waters, and my bag, and I'm gone that fast. It's super easy. I don't have to, you know, mess around with stuff in the boat or whatever. So 2 rods. 1 rod is, I have a 6'6" medium heavy Veritas bait casting rod, and this has got a Pro Max reel on it. And let me tell you, when you're pond fishing and you're doing it a lot, you don't know what you're going to be around. You don't know if you're going to be around bushes, trees. You don't know if you have something over the top of you, if you're going to be able to sidearm cast. I don't like a long rod. I mean, now when I'm in my boat, I almost always have a 7-foot rod or bigger, but you know, I'm a 6'2" guy, but when I'm pond fishing, I like the shorter rod. It allows me to roll cast and walk down the bank and roll cast sidearm without hitting the grass and stuff like that, or even the higher up weeds and stuff. So this thing will do a lot. A medium heavy 6'6", you can throw a square bill, you can throw a top water, you can throw a buzz bait, a frog, a jig. You can just do a lot of stuff on this, spinner bait, whatever. So and then I always throw Berkley Sensation line. Way before I was with Berkley, Pure Fishing in Berkley, I've always thrown Berkley Sensation, and this is like a fluorocarbon monofilament line. It's extremely low stretch, and what that allows is it allows me to have a lot of the properties of a fluorocarbon, but in a monofilament. So but now with this monofilament, I can throw that popper, I can throw the spook, I can throw a frog, I can throw a lot of topwater baits, and I can use the same rod. So that's the principle. You know, when you're picking gear for fishing on the pond, you want to have versatility is going to be key. For spinning rod, I throw a 7-foot medium light. This is a Fenwick HMX. It's a fantastic rod. It's not super expensive, super cheap. You know, as far as money wise, this thing's gonna, I think this thing retails for under 100 bucks. I've got a Revo reel on it. Now, I use braided line, like 8-pound braided line here. This is the Berkley Fireline, Crystal Fireline. I like it because I can see it. It's white, and I like the properties of it better than the Nano. The Nano is a little too soft for me, so I like to have somewhat of a coarse line on my spinning rod, and then I run a fluorocarbon leader, and I'll carry 6 and 10 pound in my bag, a small spool of 6 and small spool of 10. But this allows me to do a lot of finesse. I can throw a shaky head, I can throw a drop shot, I can throw a wacky rig, I can throw a wacky jig head, you know, I can throw an underspin. I mean, you can do a lot of finessing with this. It's a medium light, but it's still going to give you backbone because you're throwing it on braid. So it's a real unique combo. Super light, you can throw something really far in the wind, but you've got, you know, good hook setting power because of the braid. So that's, you know, that's the spinning rod. There's the bait caster too. 2 rods, super simple. So whatever you choose, I would recommend you dummy it down. Go to 1 or 2 rods and use those as efficiently as you can. You're going to catch a lot of fish. We'll talk to you later. Hey, next one, let's talk about tackle. Tackle is a whole nother thing. Would love to talk to you and share some tips on breaking down your tackle for pond fishing. We'll talk to you later.